Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about a history lesson called the Age of Chivalry. The Middle Ages, often referred as the Middle Period, span roughly from the 5th to the 15th century. The era was characterized by profound societal shift, the rise of feudalism, and the development of a distinct culture as we now associate with knights, castles, and chivalry. While the term Middle Ages was used later during the Renaissance to describe a period between the classical antiquity and the modern world, it represents a pivotal time in European history. This period saw the decline of the Roman Empire, the rise of Christianity as a dominant force, and the development of new political economic systems. This period is often depicted as a dark age. However, it was an era of significant progress and innovation in various aspects of life. Life in a medieval castle, the Lord's residence. The castle was the heart of the Lord's power, serving as his home, a center of administration, and a symbol of his authority. It offered protection against enemies and housed the Lord's family, servants, and soldiers. Within the castle walls, there were often various rooms, including the great hall where meals were shared and important guests were received, and the Lord's private chambers, which were usually more luxurious and decorated with tapestries and rich fabric. Life of the servants. Life of the servants, who were essential for the smooth running of the castle, was far less luxurious. They worked long hours tending to the Lord's needs, preparing meals, cleaning, and maintaining the castle. They often slept in cramped quarters and had limited access to the amenities enjoyed by a lord's family. The castle's defenses. The castle's defenses were crucial for its survival. They included a moat, a drawbridge, fortified walls, often topped with battlements and guard towers. These defenses were designed to deter attack and provide a secure refuge for those inside. The castle's occupants would be trained to defend the castle in times of war, engaging in archery, swordsmanship, and the other martial arts. Daily life. Daily life in a medieval castle involved a mix of routine and occasional excitement. The days were filled with chores, hunting, and religious practices. However, the castle also hosted feasts, tournaments, and other events that brought people together. While life was often harsh and demanding, there were moments of joy and celebration. The castle's inhabitants relied on their community and traditions of their well-being and security. The feudal system. The king. At the top of the feudal system was a king, the ultimate source of authority and realm. He had vast power and granted land to his vassals, who pledged their loyalty and service in return. The king's responsibilities included protecting his kingdom, enforcing justice, and leading his army in war. The lords and vassals. The king's vassals, who were lords and nobles, had their own lands and their own vassals. These vassals were bound to their lord by a sworn oath of loyalty and were expected to provide military service and other forms of aid when called upon. This complex network of relationships created a hierarchical structure that governed social and political life in the Middle Ages. The knights and serfs. The knights were the warriors who fought for their lord. They were trained in combat and lived in a code of chivalry, emphasizing honor, loyalty, and bravery. Serfs were the peasants, farmers who worked the land owners by lords. They were bound to the land and were obligated to provide labours and pay taxes to the lord. The serfs' lives were often difficult, marking by long hours of work, limited freedom and dependence of their lord. The feudal system in action. The feudal system provided a framework of government and society in the Middle Ages. It governed the distribution of land and provision of military service and the administration of justice. Although it was based on a rigid hierarchy, it also offered a sense of security and stability for many people. The feudal system ultimately declined as the power of the monarchy grew and new economic and social forces emerged. The role of the Church. Religious authority. The Catholic Church held immense power in the Middle Ages. It was the primary institution that provided spiritual guidance, education, and social services. The Pope was considered the supreme authority in the Church, and his pronouncements were often taken as binding on both the secular and spiritual realms. The Church had a vast network of bishops, priests, and monks who spread its teachings throughout Europe. Influence on society. The Church had a profound influence on every aspect of medieval society. Its teachings shaped morality, ethics, and law. It played a vital role in education, establishing schools and universities that preserved ancient knowledge and fostered intellectual inquiry. The Church also built hospitals and orphanages, providing care for the sick and the needy. In the immense power of the hearts and minding of medieval people, the Church authority was not absolute, and there were sometimes conflicts between the Church and secular rulers. However, its influence was undeniable and it shaped the course of medieval history. Art and architecture. The Church's influence was clearly visible in medieval art and architecture. Churches and cathedrals were often grand and imposing structures designed to inspire awe and devotion. The stained glass windows, intricate sculptures, and elaborate paintings depicted by biblical stories, saints, and religious imagery, serving as a visual testament to the Church's power and message. The Crusades. The First Crusade, 1095 and 1099. The First Crusade was launched by Pope Urban II, who called for a holy war to liberate Jerusalem from Muslim rule. European armies, motivated by religious fervor and the promise of land, set out for the Holy Land. The successful capture of Jerusalem in 1099, establishing 4 Crusade states. The Second Crusade. It was launched in response to the fall of Crusader Strait of Estesa. Despite the participation of prominent European leaders like Louis VII of France and Konrad III of Germany, the crusade ended in failure. The Muslims successfully defended their territories and the Crusader states remained under pressure. The Third Crusade was sparked by the capture of Jerusalem by Saladin, a powerful Muslim leader. It was led by Richard the Lionheart of England, Philip I of France, and Frederick I of the Holy Roman Empire. The crusade resulted in a stalemate, while Richard I negotiated a treaty that allowed Christian pilgrims to visit Jerusalem. The Crusader states remained significantly weakened. The Fourth Crusade. The Fourth Crusade took a different turn. Instead of focusing on Holy Land, the crusade was diverted to Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire. The Crusaders captured Constantinople in 1204, leading to the decline of the Byzantine Empire. This marked a turning point in the history of the Crusades, highlighting their shifting objective and growing influence on political and economic factors. Medieval warfare. The role of the knight. Knights were central figures in medieval warfare. They were highly skilled in combat, armed with swords, lances, and shields. They fought on horseback, and their strength and prowess were essential for winning battles. Siege warfare. Sieges played a significant role in medieval warfare. Castles were often fortified and difficult to capture by direct assault. To conquer a castle, armies would often lay siege to it, cutting off supplies and using siege engines like catapults and battering rams. To breach the defenses, sieges could last for months or even years. They were often brutal and costly. The importance of foot soldiers. Although knights were highly regarded, they were not only soldiers involved in medical warfare. Foot soldiers, including archers, crossbowmen, and spearmen, played crucial roles. Archers could inflict significant casualties from distance, while spearmen were vital for close combat. The efficiency of an army often depended on the balance between cavalry and infantry. The impact on technology. Medieval warfare was not static. Technology played a crucial role in shaping the nature of warfare. The invention of gunpowder and cannons in the late Middle Ages revolutionized warfare, making castles less defensible to leading to shift military tactics. Castles. Castles were ionic structures of the medieval period. These fortified residences served as centers of power, providing protection against enemies, on housing lords' families, servants, and soldiers' castles were often strategically located on hills or near water, offering a defensive advantage. They were constructed with thick walls, towering at a moat to deter attacks and provide a secure refuge. Cathedrals. Cathedrals were impressive structures that served as the center of religious life in medieval times. Their grand scale, intricate architecture, and soaring towers reflected the church's power and influence. They're often built in the Gothic style, characterized by pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and stained glass windows that bathed the interior in a colorful light.